Hi everyone, welcome back to the Madhouse. Today we're going to continue with the second and third row of the same square that we've been working on. Now I'm using a different colour for each row just so you can see which row is which. So we're going to start with the hook in the loop that we finished last time, and we're going to chain 7 stitches. Now I am going to repeat this in just a moment so you don't have to be rushed while you do this. So once we've chained 7 stitches, we're back to doing the triple stitch that we did before. And this is where the trick comes in to making your corner to corner blanket, because each row will be going in the 90-degree different direction to the previous row. So we wrap the yarn around the hook twice, ready to do our triple stitch, and then we count 3 stitches from the starting end. So 1, 2, 3, and you put your hook in the base of that third stitch from where you started, and then we're pulling it through 2 by 2 like we did last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do a lot of counting to make sure I'm on the right track. Now as you can see, the blue square is horizontal. This square is coming up vertical. Now you wrap the yarn twice and go into the second stitch from where you started, and then pull it through 2 by 2 by 2. So 2 there, pull it through 2 there, and pull it through the last 2 there. And then you wrap your yarn twice, and you go into the first new stitch that you made, and then you pull it through by 2, and then you pull it through by 2, and then you pull it through again, and you've just made a second square. So let me lay it down and show you. You've got the first square going horizontally, and your second square goes vertically. You only need to do 3 stitches because that chain 7 at the start is your 4th stitch. So let me frog this in a moment, or unravel it if you like, and I'll show you how it was done again. Always stick your thumb and press hard at the point where you want to go back to, so you don't end up unraveling more work than you plan to. Otherwise it can be a real pain. So there's our loop that we started with from the previous square. Put your hook through the loop and just chain 7 stitches. So that's just wrap it once and pull it through, and wrap it once and pull it through. So that was 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's your new chain. Now you need to turn your work around, because you need the blue square or the first square to be horizontal. So I use my little finger just to keep track. That helps me keep it taut so I can hook back through my stitches. And you're going into the 3rd stitch from where you started. Hook through just the bottom loop of that stitch and pull the yarn through. Now you pull it through 2, and now you pull it through 2, and now you pull it through 2. And then you're doing the next stitch, which is the 3rd stitch of the 4 stitches in that square. So this is the 3rd stitch. Pull it through 2, and pull it through 2, and pull it through 2. And this is the 4th stitch of the square. Pull it through 2, pull it through 2, and pull it through 2. Now of course we have to join the 2 squares together, so we're doing a slip stitch. So let me undo that and show you again. You put your hook through the last loop from the previous, put your yarn around the hook once, pull it through, and then pull it through the stitch. So you're not adding any extra yarn to this, it's just a slip stitch. Now for the second square, you start with 3 chain, because you're only going up in height, you're not going across the work. Then you go through 2, and then you go through 2, and then you go through 2. Yarn around the hook twice, back through that great big loop, through 2, through 2, through 2. And then this will be the last stitch. Go through 2, go through the 2, and then you're done. So let's lay this flat. So as you can see, you've now got 2 rows because it's corner to corner, so it's worked on the diagonal. That's your first row and that's your second row. At the beginning it looks a little wonky, but trust me, when you add more rows it's going to square itself out. And then in a moment we'll come back and we'll make a third row, and that will be blue. Alright, so I've brought the blue wool up so I can show you the third row. And it's going to be basically the same again. We start with 7. So we chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, now turn the work. Turn the work and count 3 stitches from where you began. So go into the base of that third stitch and just pull your loop through. Then we're doing it 2 by 2 by 2. So 2, 2, and 2. So that's 2 stitches for that square. This is the third stitch for that square. And this is the fourth stitch. The fourth stitch is worked into the first chain that you made on that row. Alright. And now, of course, we have to slip stitch it to hold the blanket together. So the hook goes through that loop, bring the yarn through, and then bring the yarn through. You don't have to add any extra to it. Now for the second stitch we only need chain 3 because you're only going up the height. And then we just repeat our normal stitch of a triple stitch. 2 loops around the hook and then keep pulling it through 2 by 2 by 2. This will be the third stitch for that square. And like I said, when the blanket, when you're first starting, it can be a little fidgety and it likes to get in the way, especially when I'm trying to show you what I'm doing and it's trying to get in my way. So you can fold it backwards, you can fold it forwards, hold it however it is that's comfortable for you. So there's your second of 3 stitches in that row. Whoops. And then we're just going to slip stitch and then chain 3 and then do 3 triple stitches. That's the second stitch because that first chain counts as a stitch. That's the key to this stitch. The first chain is a stitch. And this is going to be the last stitch for the third row. And 2 by 2 by 2. Alright, so now you can see that we've come from 1 square to 3 squares on a row. And that's how you can always count, make sure that you're doing the pattern correctly. There's 3, and then there's 3. So the third row has 3 squares, the second row has 2 squares, and the first row is only 1 square. Thank you for watching.